Now then guys, and welcome back to this Newcastle career mode here on the channel where we've got a lot of money to spend here in season number 2. We took over in 20th and managed to push ourselves up to 15th in the table, which was pretty difficult. Not gonna lie, it was a hard slog. We had to change the formation. We brought in a load of new players to try and improve this Newcastle team. The next step for us now is to push us towards Europe this season. That's the aim for this one. To be fair, considering the way we played on the end run of the last season, I think that's achievable. We're gonna take a look at the squad here though, first of all, to see what we need to do, who's going to be leaving, who's going to be staying. A lot of people are going to be leaving. That's the disclaimer here straight away. A lot of people are going out the door, they ain't staying. Also want to apologize that this has taken a little while to get out. I don't know if you've noticed on the channel, but there is a lot going on at the moment. I'm trying to bring you guys as much content as possible, as well as live streaming over on Twitch TV at Yorkiemann, and starting up a second channel where I look more at MMO games. It's been a little bit chaotic, so the Newcastle save unfortunately slid down that pile of priorities, but we are here today to rectify that and hopefully to take the Magpies to the top. We will do half a season per episode. That's the plan for this one. It always was. We're going to do half a season per episode. There'll be some played games in this. There'll also be a lot of simmed games. I'm not going to play every single match of that half a season this one episode. That would probably be too long. Let's look at the team, some of the players that we might have brought in. If you're starting here at season number 2 and you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button. And if you do go on to enjoy it, hit the like button as well. There's a load of players here that are already listed that they're going to be going. There's some contracts that are going to be up. Now, you want us to sign a new goalkeeper. I still actually think we've got one more season out of Karl Darlow and Dubravka. They're not bad rated. We'll see what happens with the budget. Roughly, again, we've got around 200 to 300 million. You've got to remember Newcastle, with financial fair play, won't be able to just smash the budget all in one go. I've ended up listing a few players, but let's be honest, a lot of these need to leave the club in order for us to push on. Hopefully, we'll receive several offers for them all. They can all leave. It's not like we need the cash. They can go for whatever bid comes in. Hopefully, come the end of this transfer window, a lot of them are gone, so that we've got space in the squad for the new boys. Speaking of new boys, I'm going to go off now and scout a ton of players that you guys suggested in the comments, and we'll see who we end up picking up. The first player departing the club this season will be Matty Longstaff. I didn't want to give him a new contract. I don't think he's good enough for us moving forward into the future. And I would have kept him around like his brother if he'd had a longer contract, but there was no way I was going to miss out on the 8.4 million, or the 7 million we get back in the coffers. So Matty Longstaff, see you later, son. He's not alone leaving the club, though. Out of the exit door as well is Lewis Cass. He's just a young player. I think he was 22, actually, 23, coming back to the club. He's gone, and so is Jeff Hendricks. Great time. Good having you here, Jeff. He's gone out of the club as well, 3.8 million free, putting back in the budget. All this helps us with Raylier's financial fair play. That's literally it. Getting these players off the books gives us a bit more cash to play with when it comes to financial fair play. Also, keep getting transfer offers for Joe Willock. Like, I've not listed him, but this is the 4th or 3rd transfer offer now for Willock. He's gone nowhere. I want to kind of give him the opportunity at the club. I think he deserves it. One for Dubravka, and I don't know if we're going to get better than that, so I'm actually going to accept it, you know? We have got some options for goalkeeper to bring in. We'll let Dubravka go. Darlow can be back up this season. The first transfer in might not actually be what you expected, but Edison Cavani joins the club. And I couldn't be happier, right, with Edison Cavani. It was a free transfer on 57,000 a week. They do want me to sign 3 South Americans, so if I can do it, I will do it, but I'm not going to force myself to do that. I mean, he's a freebie, and he's a goal scorer. He's a goal getter. Edison Cavani. Welcome to the tune, mate. Some more transfer offers as well. Alan St. Maximum with a bid from Manchester United, but we're going to give him this season. This is going to be the stipulation. St. Maximum will stay this year in the promise that we're going to get him European football. If we don't get European football, I will sell him next season because I think it's fair to put those goals in place. Almiron, I would like to keep around for at least another season. Manquillo, yes, you can go. The first money signing does join the club. It is Trincao from Barcelona. They recently signed South from Watford, so he just weren't going to get the game time there. I think it's a brilliant signing. He comes in at 78 rated, cost me 28.8 million. Welcome to Newcastle, Trincao, back in the Premiership. Also, Dubravka has now left the club, which was expected anyway. Hopefully he goes and has a lovely time at Torino. So with a combined 22 million, I've gone out and signed our backup players for certain positions this season in the back line. Ben Johnson will be backup right back. He's a player I believe in, a young Englishman. Nuno Tavares will be the backup left back. The 22-year-old Portuguese player playing at Arsenal but getting no game time has come into the club. And then Malang Sarr, again, not being utilised by Chelsea. The 23-year-old young Frenchman will join the club. They are three players that we massively needed for rotation this season, and I'm bloody happy to have them. But there was another Portuguese left back that was mentioned so much, and it's Nuno Mendes playing at Sporting. I think people said PSG. I'm not sure what the situation is there, but he's at Sporting on this game, and we're going to go and spend big on him. That should be the left back position completely sorted now. We do still need, I would have thought, another right back, but this should be left back done and dusted. They are going to want a big fee for him. It doesn't surprise me. Sporting deserve a big fee for this great young player as well. Managed to settle in the end on 50 million. Nuno Mendes and Nuno Tavares. How often am I going to get them confused? Probably every single match, but they're in. Couple more leaving the club. Manquillo and Vasilla leaving. I'm doing quite well at getting bodies out and then bringing players back in. I'm quite impressed. I've struggled to sell players on this year's game. So far, so good. Two options here for Jamal Lewis. Of course, we just brought in two left backs, so it does mean Lewis does need to be moved on in some capacity. And I don't want to just let him go on transfer. I want to see how he grows. So 2-year at Athletic Club Bilbao. Let's see how he gets on. Massive deal for the club here, signing our new number 1, Dean Henderson. The lad's been recommended by you guys on several series and consistently. So it was about time we got to use him in this year's FIFA, and about time we bought him. 45.2 million for our new number 1, not being utilised fully by Manchester United. He certainly will be by us. Not surprised, but we've managed to get to this stage already, and it is the first game of the season, and we are going to be taking on Arsenal, which won't be an easy game. Go out and hopefully try and pick up a victory here. A very strong lineup for our first game of the season, and I think this is full strength at the moment. Of course, there's still a few more transfers to be made, but this team is starting to look very good. I am very disappointed, though, that Trincao doesn't have a face, and not even a face that's close to his face. Arsenal, a team that we will want to try and compete with this season. We want to be near enough as good as them, and this is going to be their starting 11 for this opening game of the year, and it's not a bad one. They've signed some new players, Jonathan Bamba being one of them. They'll have pace, they'll have athletic ability, but I think we can exploit that back line because it does not look good. It looks like a terrible selection from the manager. New season, new hopes of Newcastle United. Martial now. He's going to find Trincao early in his career. Not a bad touch from Trincao, actually. Back across. Martial can usually sneak them one in. Donny van der Beek from distance. He's going to grab the ball back. Donny van der Beek again, and he rattles the side of the post. Good start, bright start. I'm excited to see what happens this year, to be honest with you, lads. I think we've got a really good team. Trincao's done brilliantly there to get that one in. We'll find Martial with the shot. We recoup it. Body's pushing for... What's Tarkowski doing there? He's in the box. Donny van der Beek nearly scored a moment ago and nearly scored again there. Great ball in behind here now for Arsenal. Their first attack, and Lacazette's shot stings the hands of Dean Henderson. Oh, this is good stuff. Trincao will knock it in. Martial and Philippe Coutinho gets the first goal of this season, number 2 here with Newcastle. One of the most experienced players in the team, needs to do well, but Martial's knock on here was superb to find him. Here comes Saka. It's not a bad ball in. Can Nuno get to it? He can't. Bamba, and what a save that is from Dean Henderson. We were very leaky last season. We could take leads, but we would then always consistently throw them away. Put a corner in. We've got some big lads in there, and Tarkowski and Donny van der Beek should have had a hat-trick here today, I reckon. Dunk now with a shot. Oh, why couldn't have Dunk scored? Well, another corner, and so far the corners we've had have caused them nightmares. Coutinho just past the post. Play that one back to St. Maximin. Tried to get it across, although St. Maximin's going to win it back still. Trincao's there, back post. Trincao on the volley. Oh, what a way to open your account for Newcastle. That would have been absolutely destroying them at the moment in terms of opportunities. Ward-Prowse now from distance, and Leno saves it. Donny van der Beek pokes that one out wide to St. Maximin. And we know he's dangerous in this position. He was always last season. And there we go. We do have our second. The first time he gets away for an attack. And he smashes it into the back of the net. Not long left of the match, and we're going to get to see our man, Cavani, come on here at St. James's Park, boys. Cavani is coming on the pitch here at St. James's Park. Let's see how he gets on. Maximum. Got options. He's going to use Cavani as the option he wanted. Cavani! Oh, he's just past the post, but he was offside anyway. What a debut that would have been. What a surprise. John Joe Shelby's got a yellow. What can I do here? I'm going to drill that one across to Cavani, and he does. He finds the back of the net, and we're going to get his first goal in a Newcastle shirt. Yes, I don't know what that celebration is, but I do not care. Edinson Cavani has just scored at St. James's Park for Newcastle against Arsenal, and that will round up a really good result today. That's a sign of how we're going to be able to play this season, and that's great news for everyone here at Newcastle. Arsenal going backwards, but Newcastle going forwards. That man, Edinson Cavani, come on and scored a goal. I think the squad's nearly there. We could maybe do with 1 or 2 more players, but I'm happy with the performances so far. And they went out and signed our starting right back. The budget is looking a little bit thin at the moment, considering how much we spent. 10 million on Andrea Conti. I'm happy with the deal. The 28-year-old fullback from AC Milan should settle into the team and into English football pretty comfortably. We've gone big again with another signing. We needed another left winger. We made the decision that that was going to be Pedro Neto from Wolves. 51.4 million from Pedro Neto. Now we have 2 left wingers, which was a situation that definitely starting to worry me. Moving forward now, we're nearly there in terms of this squad. I think another central midfielder and we'll be done and dusted. But there isn't much money left in the pot to play with. Transfer window's done, and I just couldn't find the centre mid that I wanted. A lot of players that we did want for centre mid had already left the club, so I couldn't bring them in. We spent 207 million, so I'm comfortable with the amount of money we spent. I would have been willing to spend maybe another 40 on top of that because we did bring in nearly 30 million. But this is the squad here then going into the start of season number 2, and I'm really happy with it. I think we've got a decent squad now. There's a good group of players in here. Yes, it could still be improved more, but you've got to remember we're trying to do this fairly realistically. You can't just go and make 20 signings every season. We're going to have to just build it at a slower pace. But I'm happy with what we've got. We certainly can compete a lot more this season, and if we overperform in certain areas, we definitely should make sure that we get European football, at least the Conference League. Here we are then, post-com Yorkie for you now, guys. We kicked off our season with a 2-0 victory against Wolves. That was followed, though, by a disappointing 2-1 defeat to Chelsea. But let's be honest, that was always expected for us to struggle against a side like Chelsea, and they're not going to be the teams that we try and beat. But here is Everton, a team that we are trying to beat, and they took the lead very early in the game. This was a ridiculous game of football as we play a ball here over the top to Mr. Icardi. He very unselfishly gives it across, and we did manage to find ourselves back into the game. But this one against Everton was probably the more frustrating one in this recording session, because every single time we seemed to manage to get ahead, they just hit us straight back. They were unbelievable on the day. I don't want to give them too much credit. They have strengthened the team, so we're expecting Everton to be the kind of team that we are competing against this year to get European football, as Trincao there goes clean through to make it 2-2. And at this stage, I very much felt like we were in the game and we had an opportunity to take points from Everton, maybe even get the win. But in the closing stages of the game, it just turned. Everton became a little bit of a different animal and kind of just put us to bed and put this one to bed. What a header that is there to finish the game off. And Rafa gets the one over me, and it's a shame, but I can't complain too much. They were just the better team on the day. We followed that up, though, with a victory against West Ham, which I was very happy to get because we needed the wins. But at the same time, this could be one of the worst games in this series, because in the first half we picked up 3 injuries to our key players. My fears were confirmed as well to see that they were all going to be out for far too long. 2-2-month injuries to Ward-Prowse and Coutinho, and then St. Maximin being out for 3 months. It hurts so much because in the centre of the park is probably where we're weakest, and rotation players aren't the greatest. Certainly meant now in the centre of the park we were going to have to rely on John Joe Shelby, which no one ever should. Joe Willock, of course, will get more game time at cam, and maybe even Anderson being given opportunities due to not having Philippe Coutinho. These are positions that I really wanted to find cover for, and we couldn't in the window. And of course, now that lack of players is really gonna hurt us. But what hurt us as well is this result against Aston Villa. We've been knocked out of the EFL Cup on penalties, which makes it even more frustrating. Aston Villa wasn't the most favourable draw. We did beat Leeds to get to this stage, but we won't be going any further. Straight after that Villa game, we took on Man United in the league, and this was always going to be a tough one. It wasn't the world's worst result. They did miss a penalty very early in the game, but 3-2 at the end of the day, at least we put up a fight. After 10 games so far this season, we do find ourselves sat in 12th with 6 defeats and 4 wins. We're very much win or lose at the moment, and we need to find ourselves in a position where we can turn at least some of them into draws and not always be so wide open. -2 goal difference and 12 points, but it's much better than what we were doing last season, and I think once we find our feet, we'll be absolutely fine. At the end of the day, if we finish just outside of Europe, that's not the end of the world. But next up here, we are going to be taking on Sheffield United at Bramall Lane, knowing that we needed to get back on track if we were going to push up the table. But it was Sheffield United that come out the feistiest. They were causing me problems from the word go. We tried to reply with this opportunity that hits the side of the post, which was so frustrating. Sheffield United, to be honest with them, was far more difficult than what I expected. We should have taken the lead before this, but we do eventually go through and take the lead, which, to be fair, at this point was kind of against the run of play. And as per usual, leaky Newcastle, we had this problem last season, and it seems like it's going to be something that is rearing its head again this season, because Newcastle were not good enough in this one. In fact, defensive calamities led to a second goal for Sheffield United just after the half, and it did not stop there. We tried to create going through here with Icardi having an absolute shocking miss. I can't be too mad he did score the opening goal, but Sheffield United put this to bed pretty much straight after that. And with that being the end of the game, it was another defeat against a side we should beat. Sheffield United were in 20th place when we played them here, and it just wasn't good enough. Could say we were definitely missing players that we should have had in the team, and we're definitely lacking pace at the back, something we'll have to fix in January. Luckily for us, though, after that Sheffield United disappointment, we did manage to beat Aston Villa 2-0, Neto and Willock with the goals, which is great to see. Us beating Brighton as well. Again, Pedro Neto with another goal, really starting to turn his form around. We did then draw to Spurs. We had a run of Spurs, Man City and Man United, picking up a point against Manchester City as well, which I was really impressed with. We need these kind of results. The team has shown that they're going to dig deep to pull out performances this season, finally getting some draws on the board. But Manchester United, again, I just don't think we're going to have much luck against them this season. They battered us 4-1, absolutely destroying us. We will quickly go through the team here now, as we are about to hit January, where we will end this episode, and hopefully you guys can come through with some clutch signings. We do have our top goal scorer of Mario Icardi. He's having a very good season, to be honest with you. 10 goals for the team, and all around the squad is certainly better than the team last season. There's no doubt about that, and we're seeing better performances this year, but we are a little bit short when it comes to strength in depth, and that was always going to be the case as we slowly start to rebuild this team to be a contender. The depth of the team is always going to be a struggle, but we do find ourselves sat in a fairly comfortable position in the league at the moment. As you can see, Manchester United top, Chelsea, then Liverpool, then Spurs and Man City just behind them. There is a little bit of a gap for us pushing towards the European positions, but 11th place isn't bad on 28 points. We're not that far behind 8th and then 7th, which will be where we're looking to try and finish. I will take Europa League Conference this season, no doubt about that. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy a little bit of a different style. I'm not going to lie, these do take a lot longer, so if you could smash the like button, leave feedback and comment, and make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. I hope I find you all great on this fine Saturday. Take it easy. I'll see you later.